Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Vechain. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I say is strictly my opinion on the markets. You should do your own research before buying crypto. Also, I want to mention the two donation links down below in the description. If you want to support Ukraine in its war against the Russian tyranny, feel free to donate to the Ukraine's military or to support Ukrainian refugees, whatever you want to do. And it doesn't matter, how much you donate. It doesn't have to be a large amount of money. Obviously, we all have different financial situations, but if you feel like you could help, that would be very much appreciated. Now, let's jump into the charts. So, on the daily chart here, we just had a bearish cross on Vechain, April 23rd. And as you can see, we are pretty overextended to the downside and we're pretty overextended from the 20 EMA as of now. So potentially what could happen is we could have a nice little relief rally all the way up to the 20 EMA, and then we can get rejected from the 20 EMA. So this is something that you can look for. And from where we are right now, that would be a 13% trade. Not bad, but obviously there are no guarantees that this is going to happen. What could also happen is that we might backtest the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement over here. This level, as you can see, this red line, and just as soon as we lost this level, we had a back test of resistance over here twice before we actually went lower. So what could happen next is we obviously could get rejected from the 20 EMA. Now what I would be eyeballing is this yellow buy zone over here. So this is something that I hope is going to hold us as support because it has multiple times previously. So anywhere from 4.5 cents all the way down to 0.0044 cents is your little buy window over here where you can actually get a nice entry on Vechain, because you can see that you've had a bounce over here from this area, you had a bounce over here, and this wick to the downside can still happen obviously. And we had a bounce from here, and we had a bounce from here. So in total, 4 bounces off from this area. And if we have a fifth one, that wouldn't hurt. Obviously, this would just solidify or help solidify this area as a strong support area for Vechain. So perhaps have some buy orders ready and set to go in this area, because we can have a little crash, a little flash crash, a black swan event at any time, and you can have these long wicks to the downside. So you should have your buy orders ready and set to go, because if you're asleep, you're not following the markets, obviously anything can happen, and by the time you wake up, the markets would have actually recovered by now, and you missed that opportunity to buy the low prices that you could have if you weren't asleep. And that's where the buy limit orders come into play. Now, let's take a look at the larger picture over here, at this large Fibonacci retracement. So we do have our swing low over here, February 25th, and we have our swing high over here. It was just circled April 17th last year. So this gives us the golden ratio at 13 cents over here. This is a very important resistance level. We have the 786 at 18.5, almost 18.5 cents. The 786 and our swing high, or the all-time high, almost at 28 cents. So you have to get through all of these levels, obviously, before you can take a look at or even start targeting some higher numbers. Up here, where the 1.618 is sitting at 95 cents, obviously, but that is yet to come. We'll start targeting that after we break the first fib level, the previous all-time high. For now, we have to look at what's ahead of us in the near to short term, or the near future, I should say. So we just got rejected from the 0.382 over here. As you can see, we had this bounce. Let me get the brush. You had this bounce from the golden area, and then you had to move to the upside. You got rejected from the 0.382, which is at 0.08295, and then you got rejected back down from there. So potentially, if we recover from here, it's bullish because you're starting an uptrend. You have a higher low. If not, you come back all the way down to the yellow buy zone. It's still good because you're creating a double bottom pattern, but you don't want to lose the previous swing low over here. If you do that, you are invalidating the double bottom pattern, and if that happens, I would target 0.3912 cents. So potentially, once you have a bounce from either of these places, you can start targeting the 0.382 for another backtest of resistance. And, it could obviously go higher, obviously. But if you, I just said obviously 2 times, but if you want a short-term trade or a mid-term trade, then you can simply look for a selling window here near the 0.382 level, and that would be, let's see, that would be an 83% trade, right? That's not a bad trade at all, in my opinion. This is a very good potential trade for Vechain, and this is only if you sell at the 0.382. You could obviously go much higher than this. You can obviously target the 0.38, the 0.5, that's 130%. You can target the golden ratio, that's almost 200%, and the 786 is 305%. And the first fib level, the previous all-time high, is 513.5%. So you can see what are some potential gains for you, but you have to have patience, okay? You cannot expect this to play out in a couple of days because you're going to get burnt and you will lose your money. Now jumping over into the daily RSI. So you can see that we had this support trend line over here and we just lost it. So as you can see, you landed on some sort of support trend line. What you can do is just set up a trend line by pressing Alt H, and that will show you potentially where you have bounced from this area previously. But this is a relatively low index over here. For the RSI 35, we had a bounce from here. Great. You can potentially print a higher low or a higher low over here and lose the support at that point. But I'm just saying that if you lose this support and you come back down into this area, into the oversold, then I wouldn't hesitate to buy as many coins or tokens as I could, because once you are in this area, as you can see in previous examples, you have strong recoveries soon after. So this is something to keep in mind. This is your best opportunity to buy some of your favorite tokens once they're oversold. And some of the projects are oversold right now, so keep that in mind. But if this happens to Vechain, just know that this is your good opportunity to enter, and hopefully we can come back into this little range that we were in, and you can break out from here and have a nice little move to the upside and then get rejected back down. But that's just hopium, a bit of hopium for you guys there. But obviously we can also back test this trend line, this diagonal trend line as resistance, because we haven't done that before after we lost it. So we can potentially have a move to the upside, get rejected from there, and come back down either to this support or even lose and go lower. Multiple different scenarios could play out, obviously, but I'm just letting you know some of them or what I am expecting to happen. But right now, it all depends on Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin's going to pull back to $30,000 at the moment. I don't think that's going to happen. If it does, it just gives me more opportunities to buy my favorite tokens at lower prices. But I'm just saying that I don't think that's going to happen. Now let's switch over to the Binance website. Switching over to Binance's website, we have a different Fibonacci retracement set up over here, a different yellow buy zone, just more short-term stuff, you could say. So right now we find ourselves in a falling wedge over here, as you can see, with a target over at the 786 Fibonacci retracement of this Fib retracement, which is sitting at 0.06144. And from where we are right now, that is a 17% trade, which is not bad at all. So if I just zoom out, you can see that this is our swing high, this is our swing low. We got rejected from the 1.272, and now we're pulling back down to the 0.5. And you can still come back down over here, come back down to the 0.382 at 0.04868, and from there you can have your move to the upside, because a falling wedge is a bullish reversal pattern, and as soon as you get closer to the apex, there's a strong chance you're going to break to the upside. Obviously, sometimes you do break to the downside, and this happens even quite often in these consolidation periods and these, bear market areas, you could say. And you could target the 0.236 at that point, because you had multiple bounces from there Basically, this is sitting at 0.04470. You can target that. If we take a look at some of the oscillators, the stochastic RSI is in the oversold at the minute. Great entry point. The MACD is getting pretty overextended to the downside. I would expect a reversal or at least a relief rally relatively soon, because as you can see, you had the bearish cross here, April 6th. You got all the way down here, and the same thing happened once you had a bullish cross here. You had the bullish cross, and you had this overextension, powerful move to the upside. You got overextended, and now you're coming back down. So this is something to expect once you get overextended to the downside. You expect a reversal. And yeah, as of now, that is pretty much it. Let's see what happens. Have your buy orders ready to go. If you want to sell at some of the resistance levels that I gave you, you can do that as well. But that has been it for this video. If I missed out anything on the charts, please let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Patreon. The link is in the description. We have buy alerts, sell alerts, low cap gems, around about 21 low cap gem posts in there at the moment. We also have project reviews, market sentiment analysis, TA requests, video requests, all that type of stuff is in there. So feel free to check it out. It's just a great, a great way to get more exclusive content and more content that is requested by you personally. So that is it. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.